What's up, everybody? This is the second day of blood in the streets. So, how are we feeling? To me, this is a good thing, not a bad thing. This is a cleansing of liquidations. You see, what happens is the market goes up and people get used to it going up. And then what happens is, right, we go up, they don't believe. They go up, we don't believe. They go up, okay, now we believe. We buy. We go up, we get excited, we buy more. We go up, we get excited, we buy more. We come down, it's just a pullback. We go up, we're breaking out, we come down, I gotta get out. It's just human psychology. It's just the way it works. Now, I'm not saying the bottom is in, but if you just look at the wave, look how massive this wave is. Now, look how tiny that correction is. I mean, it's not really tiny, but it's proportional, I would say. I mean, this thing can get even a little bit bigger and it would still be proportional with this. So we don't know if this is the bottom, but I can tell you that it's most likely the fourth wave. And we've been talking about having a fourth wave correction any day now. The reason why is because, when you count this 1, 2, right? Then you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, all of that's 3. Then you got 1, 2, 3, 4, and then all of that's 5. Okay, so you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? We didn't know if the fifth was going to go a little bit higher, maybe one more hit to the high. It's just, that's why you got to track the small time frames. But as soon as we pulled back, the risk increased. As soon as we got rejected in the retracement levels, the risk increased. And then once we broke the low, then it's pretty much confirmed, yeah, we're probably in the fourth wave. So the fourth wave could be pretty nasty. Right? And it could be pretty big. I'm not saying it's going to be, for example, we have 1, 2, all of this is wave 3. Then you get wave 4, then you get wave 5. So the time is always the hardest thing to do, because when you have a lot of momentum, sometimes the corrections can be very short-lived. For example, you go back in the day. Let's see if there's any examples in here. Not really. For example, you have, a 1 and a 2. Look how big the 2 is, right? Or for example, you have 1, 2, 3, 4. If you notice, look how small that is, because we were breaking out of here. So the corrections, they don't last long because people are scooping them up, because people know, or some people know, that, hey, this thing's going to go a lot higher. For example, if you look at this as a 1, 2, or even a 1 with a complex 1, 2, a very big 2, if you want to say that. Or you can say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The point is, if you look, we are basically in a correction that's like this, because this is where you would look. This is where you would, this is where we would be, according to where we used to be, right? So, for example, you have the rise, the crash, the retrace, you have the breakout, and then you come down and you back test the retrace level. That's the correction. Now, if we go back over here, and I gotta zoom out because this range is so monstrous. If we go back over here, you have the same thing. You have a rise, crash, retrace, right? You have the breakout. Here's the retracement level. Look what we're doing. We're back testing into the retracement level, just like we did right here boom, right? Same thing here, same thing here, right? We're back testing right there. So that's kind of how I'm looking at it. So what happens after that's finished, according to what history says? We can only go by what history has said, right? This thing can go down and it can just destroy everyone. Or it can continue following history, which is probably obviously the more probable idea. So we're at $2 XRP. All right, we're going to look at the other charts, but they're essentially the same. So this so far is about a 35% correction, 36%. All right, so a 36% correction, it's pretty big. But when you go back over here, let's check out what these are. These are like 65% corrections, right? Now, the difference is obviously the market cap's much different. Let's check out this one here. This is another 60% correction. So what do you base it off of? Do you base it off the structure? Do you base it off the percentages? That's always the tricky part. If we did have a 65% correction, we could see, probably around $1.50. Or no, actually, it would be much more than that. It would be about $1, about $1.04, $1.05, right around there. Okay, so that's pretty extensive, but not, if that happened, it wouldn't be totally, out of ordinary, right? So if we look, there's the range, go up to about $1.05. That would put us somewhere around there. To me, what's more probable, if we were going to correct further, is somewhere in this zone. Between, on the low side, $1, on the high side, about $1.50. So, that's how I'm looking at it. So let's, the only thing we can do is track the wave. Because when you look at this chart, all we have is one little red candle. Right? That's all we got. So is that enough? I don't know. Did I buy the dip? Absolutely. Absolutely. Why did I buy the dip? Because number one, we have a 3-wave move. Number two, we dumped 30%. Number three, because we hit the 1-to-1 extension. If you look here, boom, we come down here, right about there, and then we're going to come back up to here. Look at that. We perfectly nailed. We were just talking about this yesterday. And not even yesterday, but even before that, hitting the 1-to-1 extension. Right? So a 1-to-1 extension, you take this wave here and you match it up here. This wave and this wave are the same. So that's why I bought. We have 3 reasons to buy. For me, not financial advice. This could continue going down, right? Now, like if you look at Bohm and the meme coins, they got killed. But again, those are way riskier plays, and more risk, more reward. And in times of turmoil, right, I bought Bohm. I did. So I'm going to show you where I entered. So here's my Bohm trade. I just got in like maybe 15 minutes ago. All right. So I'm already up almost 15%. Now here's the thing. I can cut the trade. If I feel like, I don't know, this thing's going to break down, it's going to go lower, I can cut, I can break even, I can get out because I'm at a 7x leverage, right? So I can get the hell out, right? It's not like, and I don't recommend anyone else doing this. My recommendation to myself or to my friend, is to say spot positions, right? If you buy a spot position and you pay the exchange fees, which are ridiculous. For me, I have Coinbase One, so it's $30 a month, and I pay no fees. I think it's worth it if you're trading a lot spot, especially when you cash out large amounts of money. If you want a link, an affiliate link to Coinbase, I'll put it in the description box. I'm not an affiliate guy. I'm not an advertising guy, but I'm just doing it. If you want it, most people already have Coinbase. You know what I mean? But I think you get $10 in Bitcoin. I get $10 in Bitcoin. I mean, I don't know. Don't use it. It don't matter to me. But I think buying a spot position and then holding it, even though, like, let's say you buy a spot position here and then it kind of comes back down and then maybe it might hit the low one more time, I wouldn't cut it, because first of all, you're going to take a loss. Second of all, you got to pay exchange fees twice. Third of all, it could continue down and you could regret not selling. So just take that into consideration. But for me, I'm looking at this bull run continuing. Blockchain Backer, he put a video out today, and I wanted to hear what he thought. That was one of his better videos, and he talks about the liquidations. Go check that video out. So shout out to him, and he has a good mindset when it comes to liquidations and structures and things like that. For me, I'm more Elliott wave and structures. I mean, sometimes I play with fractals, but there you go. So is this the absolute low? Well, we'll find out very soon. And I'm going to show you the small time frames, and I'm going to give us a little bit of an indication of why it could potentially be and why it might not be. So obviously we hit the 1-to-1 extension, right? Which is good. All right, so let's look at this. And I was debating, should I do a video? The reason why I wasn't sure if I should do a video is because I might miss the up. Like, look at this. We're already pumping right here. Could this be the bottom? Could be. How do we know if it is? We don't. Unless we break this high. If we break this high, then we have more time. We bought ourselves more time. That's what that means. But it doesn't mean we necessarily have the low, but we bought more time if we could break this high, right? So far, I mean, this thing's pumping pretty nicely here. We got down to $1.89. Look at that. We're already up 6%. Let's take a look. I'm going to have to pause the video. You guys won't notice it, but I'm going to have to pause the video and go monitor my trades, because doing a video and then also monitoring trades, it's kind of a hard thing to do sometimes. So, all right, so let me show you the count here. Let's zoom out. So here we go. So if this is an A, B, C, then the idea is that we need this C wave to be finished. Is the C wave finished? Well, let's take a look. Now, there's no way to know for sure, but for me, I'm counting it like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A, B, C. And then you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A. There's an A, B, C in there, right? And then you have 1, 2, 3. Where's 4? Maybe we're getting 4, and then we get 5. Some type of diag, right? Now, when we zoom in, you could argue that that diag is already complete. For example, if this is the fourth wave, then this is the fifth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? So that could be a 5-wave move. So when you zoom out here, let's do it like this. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's 1. This is 2. And then we have 1, 2, and there's 3, 4, and then 5. And then we have, that's wave 3. And then now we have wave 4. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So to me, you could make the case that this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now, do we have bullish divergence between the 3rd and the 5th? Well, let's take a look. We sure do. Here's the bullish divergence. Now, it's only on the 10-minute chart, but we have it. Could you get another triple bullish divergence? You sure can. How do you know if that's going to be the case? You don't. You gotta watch the chart. That's basically, trading's a full-time job in some regard. You gotta just, especially, you don't have to watch the chart all the time, but during these times, it's important to watch the chart, right? So, but that's XRP. I gotta get going. I gotta go faster. Theta in the house. I also bought Theta. Let me go check my Theta trade. So there you go. I got in at $2.17, and we're at 222. Now, if we go below that, I can get stopped out. I can cut the trade. I just took a shot in the dark, and I'm, when you get major moves to the downside, and you have appropriate 5 waves. I didn't even really look at the sequential. I mean, you just don't have time. Things move super fast, and you got to react quick, right? So I got BOEM, I got Theta, and I got some XRP, and I didn't get anything else because I'm waiting to see. I want more evidence. I need more evidence that the low is in. So let's look for it. So right now, Theta is looking pretty good here. We got triple bullish divergence. Boom, 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 boom. Beautiful, right? Beautiful. So, what did I say just yesterday? I said anytime you have a big crash, a lot of times you react really fast. But then what else did I say? I said most of the time, or a lot of the times, you actually come all the way back down to the low. And this is the torturous part because it takes a long time. This is ripping the Band-Aid off. Boom. Right? This is ripping the duct tape off somebody with a thick beard. Ouch. And this is applying wax to someone's beard and ripping it off. Nice and slowly. Much more painful. Right? Why is it more painful? Because it here's your crash. You bounce up, you're like, okay, you can catch your breath. But then it's like, no, I'm coming back down, I'm coming back down, I'm coming back down, I'm coming back down. And then people can't take it anymore, and then they get out, and then it goes back up. Why would it go back up? Because the market moves in 5s and 3s. 1, 2, where's 3? I don't have 3. There's 3. Now, I'm not saying that's going to happen, but that's what we should think should happen, right? It might not be finished. So, Theta, you technically got 5, right? You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You got 5 waves, all right? Now, it's truncated. I would like the 5 waves. I would rather see 5 waves and it breaking the low. But since this is a monster wick, then it makes sense because as long as you close below the close, here's the close, here's the close, right? Now these are, this close is a new lower close, right? And this one is here. So that's also key. Now let's zoom out on Theta and let's see what we got here because we still haven't done that. Let's take a look at the daily chart. Okay, so here's the thing. right? We were down less than $1. We were about $1. We zoomed all the way up, right back, almost back to this high here, right in the retracement levels. And I said, being at the retracement levels is the most dangerous thing. And now you know why it's dangerous, right? Because you could fall off the cliff. That's why. You know, it's, you got point A, you got point B, and then you got point C. Point C is always the most dangerous place because you don't know, is it going to break out? Is it going to break down? Is it going to flag out then break out? Is it going to come back and back test then break out? There's just so many possibilities. So we have to track the wave by wave by wave. That's why I put out videos almost every day, because something new is developing. All right, so if we look here, here's the bottom, here's the top, right? This is your retracement block. This is your order block right in here, right? So XR or Theta has entered this block here, and notice how there's a lot of trading history in here. But when Theta broke out, there was no trading history. So we essentially sliced right through it like butter. So right now we're coming back in to fill in the gaps. That's how I look at it, right? So if we trade in here a little bit like this and then continue, we would have, see, this is distribution coming down. And then when you come up, this should be accumulation at the same spot. So people distributing, same price level between $1.90 and $2.50. You break out, you come back down, you're doing the same thing, right? So if it's going to be more severe, then you could come down to $1.67 and even back down to $1.53. I know it's like, whoa, how is that even possible? Well, you would have a wave 1, and then you would have a wave 2, and then you would have a wave 3. And it would be extremely massive, right? It would be huge. The reason I don't like that is because then you would essentially lose this support. So you have support, 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 support. You lost the support. Now it's resistance. You came back up, resistance, you broke through it. Now you want to come down and retest it. So we could come down to as low as $1.90. Right? So we might not be finished with Theta. $1.90 might be sort of the area that, you know, if we hit that area, I would be more enthusiastic on buying the dip. Right? For me, I'm just, you know, I'm trading. I'm most likely going to get in and get out really quick if I don't like what I see. But if we start trending higher, then I'll just hold it. Okay, so if we look at the 1 hour chart and we're looking at it upside down, right? We're looking at it upside down. So I still think it's obviously still an expanded flat. You got A, B, and C, right? And then if we take this wick here, we actually nailed this area here. Perfect. So there's actually one more area. Sometimes it takes out $1. It takes out this area right in here. These areas right here. The reason why, and I've noticed this in bull trends, is because there's liquidity resting above there, right? This is an obvious point of resistance. This is breaking above resistance. So a lot of times price will break above resistance, get everybody bullish, or in this case bearish, and then it comes right back down, right? So it comes up, it pokes through, and then it comes down. And that lines up with that $1.90 area that we were just talking about. So we have to wait, we have to see, but this would be, in my opinion, this should be the low. Between $1.90 and, you know, $2. right? So that should be the low. Now, if it's going to be more severe than that, obviously the low could be as deep. Unfortunately, the low can be as deep as between $1.50 and $1.60. But let me just explain. If you're not using leverage, you have nothing to worry about. As long as you hodl. You buy Theta, you hold it, and it doesn't matter if it goes down, because eventually we're going to backtest in here. If I'm just saying in regards to the most bearish case, right? And then we'll continue higher. Now, what would that be? That would be the infamous rise, crash, retrace, reaccumulation, sideways, blast off. So if we want evidence, look for sideways. Now, I'm not saying that sideways is going to take that long. It might not take that long. It might be quick, right? So now let's talk about a couple other ideas here in regards to what we're looking at. Now, we're definitely oversold. You look at the RSI, guys. Look at the RSI on the 4-hour chart. I mean, we are deadly oversold. That's a good thing, right? Look at that. Boom, boom, boom. Every time we get down to this area, we shoot up, 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 right? Now, a shoot up, sometimes, the price doesn't really shoot up much, right? It can range. Like, for example, let's see. So that was a low. I think I'm gonna have to put some vertical lines. I'm not sure if they'll work here. Okay, there's a low. That line is way too thick. There's a low. That's good enough. You can see, for example, this line reversed the price. This line was just a bounce. This line was a bigger bounce. This line actually reversed the price. So how do you know which one's it going to be? Again, you really don't. You got to monitor how it plays out. But from experience, anytime you have this level of oversoldness, because we basically, when you look, for example, when you look between this line and this line, we went straight through it. So if you go back over here, we didn't go straight through it. We kind of played around a little bit. So, it's one of those things, right? Now, I can tell you, we have hidden bullish divergence. We have massive hidden bullish divergence. You know where it's at? It's right here. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, and then we have 2. Okay? And that 2 lines up with right here. And then we shoot up. We have an A, B, C. And that is from here to there and from here to there. Notice the price going up, RSI going down. That is extreme hidden bullish divergence. Now, it doesn't mean I don't like I like regular bullish divergence. I don't like hidden bullish divergence. I find that it plays out, it doesn't play out as nicely as regular bullish divergence, but in this case, it could be one of those things because it's pretty powerful. It's pretty powerful. So there you go. That's the RSI. And we can do the same thing for XRP. So let's talk options here. First of all, if we put on the retracement from top to bottom, right now we're in the golden zone, guys. And I hope this is, I don't know, I think this is on linear. Or yeah, okay, good. So we're not in the golden zone, but we're at the 50. We're at the 50. So look at that. The 618 actually lines up with $1.90. That's what we were just talking about. So anywhere between $1.90 and 215, that's where we need to chill out. This is the bottom. I just tweeted out I bought the dip hard. Okay? And then below that tweet, before I did this video, I said that I just bought the dip hard. And then below that, I said, this is not the bottom. This is the bottoming process. We could still have lower prices, but anytime you dump 2 days in a row hardcore, it's buying for the future, not for tomorrow, but for the weeks and months ahead. The position I purchased could see some short-term pain. Okay? But I'm okay with that because I see the longer-term vision. It's all about conviction. All right. So if we paint the picture of the bottoming process, then I'm looking at this being that bottoming process. I want to see support hold in this area, right? So actually, let me get this here. This is the area where we want to see it hold. Now, since we're oversold, I think we could get at least a bounce, maybe back to even what is that, 240, 230 even, right? So let's take a look at the small time frame, see what we got here. Yeah, there's no evidence yet that the bottom is in, right? You can see it was just kind of like a dead cat bounce here. So, you know, you kind of got a little bit of a break above this line here, but it's really nothing, you know. So I got to really monitor my trade because I don't want to come back, you know. The thing for me is, let me get rid of that. Is this bullish divergence here, right? If we come back and we break the low, we get another bullish divergence, I would consider adding to the position. If I go up to the 20-minute, we have a little bit of bullish divergence, and I think that would be it. On the 1 hour, on the 1 hour, you're kind of oversold, you're going up. And the closes are going down, but the wick is actually worse. So it's one of those things where it kind of a wait and see. But anyways, let me explain another count here. All right, let's talk what next. Okay, so what next? So once this is finished, we could roll down here, we could play around a little bit, but then eventually I expect a retracement. Again, retracements are the dangerous place because we don't know if that retracement's going to come up and then crash, right? So what we want to see is a 5-wave impulse off the low and a 3-wave pullback. If we get that, right, you could say a shoulder, a head, a shoulder, and then we continue higher. So that's idea number 1, right? Doesn't mean it's going to happen today or tomorrow. It's going to take time. Idea number 2 is that we do the same thing. We bottom out in here somewhere around $1.90 to $2, right? And then we come up in 3 waves. So we have 3 down, we have 3 up, and then we either get 3 down and a running flat, we get 3 down, and it could be a regular WXY or ABC, right? Basically, it's more complex, right? 1, 2, 3, as opposed to 1, 2, 3, go. It's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, then go. How do you know which one it's going to be? You got to wait until we get up here. We got to examine the wave structure on the way up. When are we going to go up? as soon as we confirm a bottom. When do we confirm a bottom? When we start going sideways. You know, for example, like you could go sideways. Like here's a bottoming process right here. Right? Look at this. Right? We basically, you know, we hit the low, right? And then we get 3 up, we come down, we make a higher low, right? Or we get 1, 2, 3 up, 1, 2, 3 down. So 3 up, 3 down. So we want to look for something like that. If we look closely, we don't have that yet, right? We're not even near that yet. So we're still in the capitulation. So what we see, right? This is not like people selling. This is people selling. This is a liquidation, right? So people get stopped out right here, and then boom, 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 everybody gets liquidated. Price automatically rallies, and then it comes back down. The reason it comes back down is because that's the after effects of everybody realizing what just happened and people getting out of their positions. So this is organic selling. This is liquidation. So this is people getting freaked out and getting out. But to me, I don't think that would be a good I mean, you know, it's all about capital preservation. You know, you got to do what you got to do. You got to protect your money, right? But you also don't want to get the short end of the stick, you know. So I'm sure there's a lot of structures out here, fractals that look like this, but yeah. So to me, you know, the bearish thing I see here is 1, 2, and then this is 3, this is 4, and then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we get 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we really don't have 5 waves here, right? So I gotta monitor my short-term trade, and then, you know, get in, get out, right? So anyways, that's what we got. Now let's take a look at Bitcoin, and then we'll take a look at a couple other ones. So Bitcoin came right back down to the low right here. So we want to hold that area. If we can hold that area, that'll be a good thing, right? Not a bad thing. And remember, we talked about this. Why did we? Because remember the fractal, right? Remember the fractal we were just looking at yesterday. You know, the fact that we had 3 waves up. So we had 3 down, we had 3 up, we had 5 down, right? The fractal said we would come back up, and then we would come back down and hit the low here, right around the 382 of the fib extension. And that's where we hit. So the low should be in thereabouts, right? You know, you could have maybe, like for example, 1, 2. This is 3. This is 4. And now we're in the middle of 5. And we can come down here, like see how we wick below? We could wick below again and make a higher low, and then sort of continue. So it's still very early, still very hard to know exactly. I mean, the small time frames, they actually look kind of bearish. I mean, it doesn't look ready yet. You got bullish divergence though, but it just, I don't know, it just seems, you could say that you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we want to see evidence though. We want to see that if we could go sideways in here, that's what we want to do. Right? So, all right, let me show you this chart right here, Filecoin. And here's a really good example of something, right? So watch this. So we have the bottom, right? Watch this. We got the top, right? But what about the middle? Look at the middle. You got this middle here. You got this middle here. Look at all of that confluence in there, right? And look what we did. We shot up. We shot up. And what did we do? We came back down to the mean, to the middle, right? That to me is actually bullish if we can hold it, right? So this is a back test, guys. We're back testing the low, or we're back testing the middle here, and we should back test it because it's a lot of price history, right? So all of this is support, support, support. We lose it. We come back up, resistance, resistance. We lose it. We come back up, resistance, resistance. We make it. We come back down, support, support. We lose it. We come back up, we break it. Now is our chance to hold it. We have not confirmed the middle because when we broke through it this time, that was great. We came back to retest it, but we couldn't hold it. So here's our second chance. We broke through it. Now we need to come here and we need to hold it. Just like in these areas, right? So we want to hold this and then continue. This would mean that we break out, we retest, we hold it, we continue. That's another indicator that we could be close to a bottom. Now, the problem with this is we're still kind of far away from we basically in the middle here. We could see, maybe a little bit of a lower price. Let's take a look at the 1 hour chart here. So I like it because, we're holding support in here. That's good. So it really is two things. Either it's almost finished or it's just beginning. If it's just beginning, then we're not in a bull market. And basically we had a Bitcoin top and that was it. And we had a small altcoin rally and that was it. I don't believe that at all. I don't believe that at all. I believe we still got much more to go. So, yeah, kind of the same thing going on here. You had a big crash, you pulled up, and then you kind of retesting these lows here, just like we talked about yesterday. The key here is to make a higher low, and so far, it's looking pretty good here. We got two solid candles right here. That was weak. Right here, that was weak. Now this looks a little bit stronger. All right, so let's go to Bohm because this guy got beat up pretty big. If I can find it, where's it at? But actually, it looks pretty good now. Now, I like the fact, in some instance, that we broke the low. And you can say, well, you just said you like the fact that we got a higher high. Well, here's the thing. When you break the low and you get bullish divergence, right, and we really don't have it. It's kind of there. You can kind of see it. But the reason, so I do and I don't. The reason I do is because we could get 5 waves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Or if we look closer here, let me see if we got anything wave structure related. There we go. So you could see 1, 2, you could say 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's a 7 wave crashing structure. So, and we took the low out, right? So what I want to see is consolidation and then a continuation. That's why I bought Boom. And I bought Theta and XRP. Right? I don't need to buy all of them because if one is bought, if basically they're all going to bottom right around the same spot. They basically have the same structure. They all look the same. So I don't need to buy all of them, right? It doesn't make sense. I just need to get a couple of them. It doesn't matter if it was Boom. I could have bought Filecoin. I could have bought Matic. It doesn't matter. Like, that's just the one I picked. It's not because I feel like, oh, that one's better. It's just, that's the one I was looking at. So, let's take a look at the larger time frames. All right. So let's go to the 3-day chart. So the 3-day chart, whoa, you see that? That's a pretty massive dump. Okay, so am I worried? Am I panicking? Am I scared? No. Why? Because what did we talk about? We talked about the possibility of what? Of us coming where? Back down to the trend line. Right? And you could say, well, we actually broke the trend line. Now, you can play with it a little bit. In this regard, yeah, you could say we broke below it. There it is. We broke it. Right? It's broken. Will we rally back up and close above it? We'll have to wait and see. Let me go to the daily here. The daily chart, we haven't broke it yet because we're going through the closes. We actually tested it. So this is more conservative, right? So what do we have here? What the hell's going on with Boom? Well, look at this. We got, so I want to say this is a 1, 2. We have another 1, 2. And this is still another 1, A, B, C, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Now, it could have bottomed here, right? Like boom, and then you go up, and then you go up. But look what happened. We came up, and then we came back down. So this three-wave move is 1/3 of the size of this three-wave move, which means this too is probably in a different degree, which means it could be a diagonal. Right? Which is what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? You got that broadening wedge look to it. All right? So let me actually put on some real annotations because I'm going to have to take them off. So that's 1, that's 2, that's 3, that's 4, and that's 5. Beautiful. So guys, look at this. We have an impulse. That's your wave 1. We pull back. That's a wave 2. And then we have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is wave 1 of wave 3. This is wave 2 of wave 3. What comes next? Wave 3 of wave 3. Now, that's not financial advice. I could be wrong. This could go to 0. Again, meme coins are very, very risky. You just don't know. But based off the chart, it looks great. So it looks better now than it actually did because, again, you have point A, point B. It was looking good. It was looking good. We were coming up here. It was looking bullish. But this is point C. What happened? This is a good lesson. Retracement levels don't always work out, right? When you get to the retracement level, it could be do or die. In this case, it was a lights out moment. But once you get that moment, now you have a three-wave shape. Now when we come back up, now you have more of a probability to break out. Why? Because you had a bigger correction. You had a three-wave correction. So if we look at this kind of like, some kind of broadening diagonal here. Yeah, there you go. Right? So then I'm looking at this obviously as an A, B, C. Now the question is C finished? It might not be. We could come a little bit lower. It's hard. It's, it's a tough one. We need time to elapse. We need the market to digest what just happened. There's a lot of new people that just invested that just felt the crash for the first time. So they're not feeling it, right? There's a lot of people who got in who are negative right now. So how are those people reacting? Are they selling? Are they getting out? Are they saying, I can't take it anymore? Or are they watching and learning and realizing, hey, this is a longer game, I need to stay in? You have two groups of people. So which group is going to win? That will tell us which way we go. That's why I would prefer everybody to hold, right? Hold the line, especially when you have a 3-wave move, right? So if you have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you have a 5-wave move to the upside, you have a 3-wave pullback, you're right on the trend line, you're oversold. I mean, come on. This is the time to step up to the plate. This is not the time to run away. So what now? Now we need to give it time, and then let's see if we can get something going here. So, all right, that should wrap it up. I mean, you could say, well, what about this chart? What about this chart? It doesn't matter. It's all the same. Everything I just talked about applies to all the other charts. Look at that. Look at that, guys. Look at that. Did I buy the low? Did I do it? If I did it, I'm going to pat myself on the back. I don't know. I took a shot. I saw 5 waves. I saw the divergence. I took the risk. The risk might not work out. Now, I bought yesterday as well, and I got burned. Well, I didn't get burned. I got stopped out. Right? I bought the dip. Not talking about my spot position, right? I bought the spot position. That's different. But I entered a long on a leverage trade, and I got kind of burned. And I'll show you exactly what that was. So I got, was it T? Yeah, it was Theta. So I got Theta. I missed the low. We came up, we pulled back, and then we started going up. I got in, right? Because I'm thinking, okay, we're going to get a 3-way pullback. We chilled out a little bit. We came back down. We pumped. And I'm like, okay. And then bam, we dumped, and then I got stopped out. So it wasn't like I got completely annihilated. It was a little bit of a burn, but oh well. My stop loss was below my entry, so I did lose money. But that's just the name of the game. You win some, you lose some. You take risk. All right? So a lot of people will do that, and then they'll get hurt. And then once another opportunity arises, they won't take it because they feel timid. They feel scared. Right? It's like, if somebody had a bad experience on a motorcycle and now they don't want to even touch motorcycles, right? I don't know if that's a good example or not. But let's look at ICP, same thing. Engine, same thing. Man, I only bought 2, I bought 3. XRP, Theta, boom, right? Should I have bought more? Well, honestly, I wish I had, because LIQUIDATIONS going up, Filecoin. Look at Dog. It's going up too. XMR. Oh, this one looks pretty good. I might snag a little bit of this one here. So remember, Theta was at 12%. Now it's at 21%. And look at BOEM. I don't remember what BOEM was, but it's higher. It's 26%. So anyways, that should do it. I'm monitoring everything really closely. If you look at Link, for example, we could have another low. 1, 2, 3, 4. We could get 5. So if we get 5, just be aware of that. Let's take a look here. You could even say 1, 2. All of that's 3, 4, and 5. I mean, BOEM looks a little bit more finished. Just kind of looking at the small time frames here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. looks okay. XDC, much different look to it. Yeah, I'm not sure what to make of that. You know, we're basically ranging in here, so it's kind of a wait and see. I do kind of like the way it's flagging out though. So it could be a 1-2, 1-2, and then we're flagging out. So it looks pretty good so far. Let me zoom out a little bit here. I know if you guys are feeling down and sad, you just gotta look past that. You gotta look 6 months ahead, right? This needs to happen. We need to have, look at this. We pull back, right? This is normal. This is normal. This is what we need, right? You have to have these moments and you have to embrace it, right? Don't shy away from it. Embrace it. I've been here since 2017 and I've been through so many of these, and you get numb to it because you know deep down that, hey, it is what it is, right? And especially we got Bitcoin hit $100,000. So we're in price discovery with Bitcoin, right? And now I'm going to show you a couple fractals. Check this out. So this is from BCB's video. I wanted to share it. This is the inverse perspective, right? We've shared this fractal before, long time ago. But look at this. We broke down, we paused out, we break down, we pause out, we continue. So this is inverse, which means we continue down, which means up. Here's another fractal here, right? And you can see right where we are, you can see the purple line is the fractal. And if you look very closely, let me zoom in here. If you look very closely, we shot up and then we played around in here a little bit, right? That's exactly what we're doing right now. So this is the area where we should, you know, take a breather. But then look what comes next, a big explosion, right? So we could look at this as a flat and then a continuation, right? It actually looks like a flat, A, B, C. And then we continue on. So there we go. All right, guys, if you can hit that like button, I'd really appreciate it. And, you know, let me know what you guys think, and subscribe if you haven't. And for me, I'm buying the dip. I'm dollar cost averaging. I'm not going all in at once, right? I'm kind of going in a little bit, dipping my toes in, playing it, maybe getting out, maybe just, you know, testing the waters and kind of getting a feel for where we are. We don't have to be in a rush. It's not like you got to be the first one there, because most of the time when we do bottom, we range. And when you get the range, then it's easier to buy, right? So then you can say, well, why did you buy? Well, I buy because I'm a trader. I get in, I get out. You know, that's how I make a living. But for an investor, sometimes it's best to just wait and to see that we've actually are accumulating in a base. So stay tuned for more updates. I will catch you guys on the next one. Remember, not financial advice. And yeah, cheers.